Attention 5-9 gamers, we are back with another installment of your favorite Dokkan Battle podcast called the Dokkan Battle Podcast. I am your host Toonrami, and joining me this week is the international family guy himself, Talon.
Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan.
Part-time stand user and full-time Super Battle Road King, the Masked Ningen.
Yo, how's it going, everybody?
The homie who needs no introduction, Goresh.
What's going on, everybody?
Our beloved silent swordsman, Kensei.
Yo, what's good?
If it exists, then he's already rainbowed it, the LR King of Dokkan, the Truth.
Sup, what's up?
Make sure you guys are locked in across all of our social media platforms and fully connect with the 5-9G network today. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, join the Discord, check the Facebook, the subreddit, the website, everything. All the links are everywhere. Make sure you guys are fully locked in immediately. I cannot stress that enough. Immediately. Now, without further ado, let's jump into today's episode 22 called YAYYYY. So, let's talk about that EZA, the infamous LR EZA, the very first of its kind, the first summonable EZA. We are getting the Goku Frieza EZA. Unbelievable, I know. What are your guys' reactions to this? Because for about a full day, I was in complete disbelief. What was your guys' initial reaction when you found out that Goku Frieza was indeed getting an EZA in Dokkan at this point?
I'm still in disbelief.
Yeah, I'm still in disbelief. I'm still waiting for that gotcha moment. There's just some kind of easy boss or something like that. And I know the whole, V jump and everything and all this stuff. I know that, right? But I just feel like there's just something in the back of my head, just like there's gonna be a gotcha moment. It's just gonna happen at the last second. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel real. It really doesn't.
I mean, it makes sense that it's happening at this time when it's all about the Tournament of Power, Universe 7,
Yeah, of course.
Teamwork, bonds, and all that stuff. There couldn't be a more fitting and appropriate time to do this, but it's just such a massive quantum leap forward in terms of the power creep, I guess, or just like the way that they do these rollouts when it comes to these upgrades. So because this is happening so quickly, do you guys foresee some sort of massive upgrade in commemoration of the anniversary, or would this be a very minimal boost to this unit?
It has to be a minimal boost. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Make them far and away the best unit ever? I mean, I guess they could, but that really sets them in a weird position for whenever they decide to do the next EZA for a summonable LR.
It's interesting because it's like, okay, you look at this unit, if you just gave them an extra, 70% defense at the start of turn, boom, already they're completely they're good. Right, because you're going to get the SA-25, then you get all the extra defense to make them a way more balanced unit. They're already not as bad defensively as a lot of people think they are, right? They just have to attack first. But if you just give them an extra fat defensive buff right at the start, they're fine. That's the way a lot of these OG LRs are. Broly, Majin Vegeta, Gohan, you just give them 100% defense at the start of turn, and they're top 10 units again. It's that simple. So there's not a lot they even need to do.
Yeah, the only thing I could see them potentially doing is turning that beginning of the passive from when you attack, you get the attack and defense up, to simply just having the attack and defense at the beginning of the turn. I could see something like that happening, maybe, just to help. If you have to put them in the first slot or anything. But again, I'm in disbelief. I still don't believe it's happening.
Do you think that they're gonna have a better leader skill? Right now it's 177%. So do you think it's gonna be 180? Maybe.
I don't think the 177 is gonna change, but I think the tech leader skill part
the
will
sub-lead
change.
would definitely change.
Yeah.
They can't take away from the fact that this is all about Universe 7, right? Getting rid of the 7s would be counterintuitive.
I could see them maybe putting the key up to 4 because the team has
4,
so many LRs now, but I can't imagine it
7.
going up above 177%.
How about key plus 7 and
Yo, the best team.
Yeah,
right
sure,
now?
why not?
I mean, I can also see them also upgrading the super attack effects. So they lower attack and defense. Well, they lower attack on 12 key and they lower attack and defense on the ATV super. So I can definitely see them probably get a Rice's attack for 1 turn on 12 key, and then Rice's attack and defense on the ATV super for 1 turn. So that could happen. But other than that, they don't really need anything. Just, I guess, all they're gonna do is just probably maybe have some kind of a bond, some kind of a support maybe for their own team, because remember, I remember correctly, every single of the Universe 7, they do somehow just click, they just combine together, and like they just like say like 17, you need like 5 or more Universe 7 categories on the team. So I could definitely see them like probably say you need like 3 or more Universe 7 on the team, and this gain like more boost, maybe like more attack, more defense, or an additional super attack maybe. I don't know, like something like that could happen. So I don't know. It's just like honestly, I don't think they don't need anything at all. Just minimal buffs, and that's it.
The perfect thing they could give them, even if they didn't touch any of their stats, is just make them create rainbow orbs.
Yeah, create rainbow orbs. Yep.
Because then for that team, that would be actually ridiculous.
Could making this unit completely broken, like just completely balance breakingly broken, would that be good or bad for the game at this point? Because the game still has a lot to give, especially since it's still hitting top grossing and doesn't seem to be slowing down in that regard anytime soon. So does this seem like a good move to just make him completely absurd and ridiculously powerful, or would that potentially cause the eventual downfall of Dokkan just because there can't be anything better than that, or the game is just too imbalanced at that point?
I mean, we've had multiple instances throughout the course of this game's history where a unit's come out and they're just like overwhelmingly overpowered. And I don't think that really has affected the, I guess, integrity of the game. So, I mean, they could make them completely busted in every single way possible, and I don't think the game would have like any chance of dying off or anything like that.
Yeah, this is not like Legends of PvP, right? You just
Yeah.
like all Dokkan does is if they make Zenkai Red 7 Gohan, everyone is going, "Oh, I love it! It's so great!" Right? Like people aren't mad at that. It's the opposite reaction. They go crazy. They love it, right? Because this is a unit that's been out for 3 years. Like people are much more likely to have this unit than LRUI Goku, who just came out 2 weeks ago, right? So.
Yep.
Does this at all undervalue or reduce the value, I should say, of the existing LR banners or the Dual Dokkan Fest banners that are currently on JP? The fact that this EZA is on the way?
I don't think so, no. Because the other thing, too, is gacha game. People are always like, oh, gotta summon for every single unit. Like, look at these global players summoning for Turles and shit. These Muppets. All right? Like, they have to get every shiny new unit. That's how
I don't know what you're talking about.
Basically.
I only,
I feel very attacked.
I only went in once.
Yeah, you only went in once, huh?
Yeah.
But speaking of EZAs, this is not the only EZA that's happening, or coming up, I should say. This is the most prominent, but we do have a slew of other EZAs that are going to be happening on JP as well, in the form of the free-to-play units. So I'm not going to go into great detail about all of them, so I'll kind of just leave it up to you guys to explore whichever one you want to. But out of the 4 EZAs that we also know are coming up for the free-to-plays, the LR Roshi, the TUR TN Roshi, Krillin 18 TUR, and of course the Ultra Instinct Physical. Out of those, which one do you see having the most valuable upgrade in terms of power in the EZA?
Probably LR Roshi.
LR Roshi for sure.
Yeah. I mean, physical UI sign, like, unless they finally make him a good support unit. I mean, the dude's still garbage right now. You know, so unless they really actually make him a very good support unit, he's just, there's no point to him. The Tien and Roshi and then the Krillin 18, they've been being decently good as they keep up Awakening and everything. But I mean, unless you're like trying to run some kind of free to play representative Universe 7 team or something like that, I think for the most part you're really not going to run them, to be honest. Unless of course their EZAs just go through a huge overhaul. So I think Roshi is the one that will probably do the best in terms of the easy areas.
From the physical UI Goku, I would want from his EZA is having a high chance of dodging a normal attack and a super attack as well. So I would hope that would come in from his EZA, but other than that, I do think LR Master Roshi seems like the best one out of the 4.
Does he have the makings for the best free-to-play in the game?
Not with Frieza around now.
Yeah, no Frieza around now.
Hey, Talon.
Yeah.
Royal Blue Vegeta. Do you think he's going to get an EZA?
He better. He freaking deserves one. My gosh. Talk about
it doesn't seem like if it doesn't happen here, it's not going to happen until maybe it's supposed to eventually happen once all the other category leads get their upgrades.
I mean, I see everyone talking about Sandan and everything, which I guess kind of makes sense since he is the Pure Sands lead and everything, but it just, it's such. I mean, I get it. It's Goku and everything, but it's just it just irks me. It seriously does.
Well, at least we're still getting a decent chunk of other units getting those upgrades. You can have fun with those until whenever the time comes that Vegeta gets his day, which will be never. So let's continue talking about the JP anniversary, because of course that's all there is to talk about when it comes to Dokkan right now, because the 6-year anniversary on JP has just been absolutely killing it with all of these amazing units. And now we have the Part 2 LRs out on JP. So Truth, what are your thoughts on the 2 new LRs, the 17 and Frieza, and of course Team 7? Which one is your favorite?
They're both mid.
Great.
All right then.
All right, so here's the thing, right? The 2 LRs, you could see them at their max potential, best case scenario. Ooh, so shiny, so pretty. The Golden Frieza and 17 doing their active skill where they're guaranteed critting and they got 400k defense and and then you see Universe 7 where they double super attack and they're giving the entire rotation like 100k defense and stuff like that. But they're super ultra limited, both of them. Definitely not the best thing to go for, like if you're a free-to-play player and stuff like that, right? Like, these units are designed to be run on like Refs Universe 7 and Tournament of Power, the 2 categories that are like the fattest right now in the game anyway. Like, you're putting, rather than like the LR Universe 7 unit, you could have STR LR UI Goku in EZA UI Goku, LR Goku and Frieza, who's about to get their EZA, right? LR Master Roshi, who's about to get an EZA and be very good. That's the problem with these units, is they made 2 like good units. Universe 7 I think is better, but 2 good units that are so highly limited, you're just not going to get a lot of use out of them. Like, what difficult event are they really going to help you in? Because you go into the God event and they both get killed. You go into Super Battle Road and they're so heavily limited, they could barely even help you in many stages in there, right? Like, oh my god, they're so good for the Legendary Goku event. Whoopee, you could beat that full free-to-play, right? You just have a number of recent summonable units who are just better on more teams, more versatile, almost better in every single way, really.
Yeah, unless you're absolutely running nothing but Universe 7 every single day, every single battle you do, it's unfortunately not the greatest.
Universe 7 is really good though. So But again, there's competition there though, and if you want to be able to have a unit that's a good on Universe 7 and be also on other teams, these units are not for that, unfortunately. So
Truth, where do you rank the Universe 7 team at?
Oh man, I mean, I would say Jiren, STR UI Goku, Turles, Bootanks, STR Vegito, I all like better. I mean, LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, I probably like him better as well. Like, it's like probably in that range. Like when you start talking about maybe like Spirit Bomb Goku, Kale Caulifla, maybe in that sort of range is where I would put them. It's like, again, they can look really good, but what I would like to see from really top tier units like this now is characters that can like really maintain in slot 1 in difficult events. That's what you're going to want. And both of these units aren't really that. Because it's like, the Team Universe 7, they look so good. Wowie! When you have all their links active with MVP 17, he's giving them the massive defensive buff, and they're over 200k defense. But that Universe 7 LR, you don't have 17 around, and they're at like 140k defense. Like, they're just not strong enough defensively, I would say, to like, just compared to all the other Reps Universe 7 units who are just like incredible both ways.
Hey, Garesh.
Yo.
Is Universe 7 among the top categories in Dokkan now?
Yes, easily. I mean, you can... Honestly, you could... There's so many different leaders for the team as well. I mean, how many different leaders do we have? Spirit Bomb Goku. We have the new 17 in Universe 7. We have both of the LRs, the Year 6 LRs, Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Frieza. Like, there's so many different options. There's 5, like, viable leaders.
Yep.
Unless I'm forgetting one.
Nope, that's all.
Like, you have so many options. Let's say you only pull one of those 5 units, you can run the team.
Yeah.
It used to be once upon a time this team where you could only run like 6 viable units on there, and that was your whole team. And that was originally why I believe they gave the Goku and Frieza such a high leader skills, because the team was so small and limited. But now you have all these options. I mean, you could even go back and say like 17, who's a unit that came out, 3 years ago?
Yep.
Like, he's still one of the better options for that team. He's eventually going to get an EZA, we know, because they're apparently EZAing everything now. So, I mean, you can build the team in so many ways. I think that's a big strength that the team has right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say that like an LR like the Frieza N17 isn't exactly stellar, but them not being stellar on the Universe 7 team just shows you how good the team is.
True. One other point. So that Frieza N17 to me, it feels like a lot of what they're built around is their active skill, but that's one of the worst conditions. Like, I took them into the God event and I beat the God before I can even use their active skill. Like, you know, like some of these on paper, 4 super attacks, dude, we're gonna do that every fight. It's like, no. You know, you'll be on turn 10 and they haven't super attacked 4 times, right? Like,
yeah,
it's problematic. Like, if that was an active skill that unit could use like their second turn every single time they're around, then it's like, whoa, like that's really good. Like, they'd be a really capable unit, because the active skill 77% defense is monstrous, and then guaranteed crits for a turn, like that would make them so ultra powerful for that turn. I don't know why they restricted it as much as they did, considering it's a 1-turn buff. It's odd. It's like if it was just what LR Tech Broly has, like it's the same type of thing. Like, Tech Broly goes from doing, I don't know, 6 million, 7 million to 11 million with his active skill, right? Like, why not like Golden Frieza and 17 do the same thing?
What are some of the top categories that you could still see being above Universe 7?
Realm of Gods.
Realm of Gods.
Yeah, Realm of God.
Universal Survival Saga.
Well, I mean,
That too as well.
It'd be Majin Buu Saga / Battle of Wits as well.
Yeah.
Majin Buu. So that's still a great one. Yeah.
A lot of people are always going to go towards Kamehameha, which has a great roster for sure. But we're now at the point where so many of these top tier characters don't work well with Gohan. Like, Gohan is literally the only Kamehameha leader, and it's like he brings the team down. You don't want to run 2 Gohans.
This is the problem that I have with a lot of these categories in the game, where the leader is not like, he's not like overwhelmingly powerful. Like, this is the reason why I never really liked Pure Saiyan, is because like transforming Vegeta as your leader, like what is he fulfilling? What role is he fulfilling on the team other than a floater that's a dead, like 2 spots in your team are just dead with him on the team.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could even argue the same thing for Realm of Gods to an extent. The Int UI Goku is obviously very good, but would you rather have Int UI Goku, or would you rather just have somebody like Bojack as a leader for that team?
Well, okay, sure, but I actually disagree a bit there. Like, Int UI Goku getting that EZA, to me, that cemented Realm of Gods. I probably would say that I think they are number 1 because of Int UI Goku's EZA.
I heavily disagree. I don't think the leader skill provides. Well, not leader skill. I don't think the leader of the team provides enough flexibility for that to be the case at all.
For me, I do, because he's got Prepare for Battle, Over in a Flash, and Turn on Power. So he'll work well with every single unit that you want to bring on that Realm of Gods team, right? And then if you're going to bring, like, AGL UI Goku, you have stuff capable for, like, Beerus, Whis, if you want to do stuff like that. Like, Realm of Gods, like, Beerus is a good unit, but he doesn't work that well with a lot of the Saiyans people are going to want to run. Gogeta, Vegito, unless you're fighting a Realm of Gods enemy, right? But UI Goku does work really well with all those Saiyans.
Yeah.
Right, but he's not providing, like, actual buffs to the team at all.
No.
Okay, but like
Bojack or Cooler or any of those other units that are ridiculous.
Bojack, Cooler, is that it? Like, yeah, listen, Space Traveling Warriors probably is my favorite team to run.
Because you're not gonna. What are you gonna run? UI Goku on main rotation? No.
You easily could. The Int UI Goku.
But that's not gonna compare to other best teams in the game. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so if we're talking directly Space Traveling Warriors, so we're comparing UI Goku to like LR Turles or Jiren or something like that, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know, because UI Goku is going to be stronger than the TUR Turles or God Topo or Pride Troopers or whatever.
I mean, I don't like that build, but yeah.
Oh, come on.
I don't think that's the optimal build for that team.
For Realm of Gods?
No, for just Space Traveling Warriors.
What's your optimal build?
I mean, probably something like Bojack, LR Bojack, then Cooler and Prime Battle Frieza, and the floaters are other Bojack, the Turles is a floater, the LR Turles, and then maybe like Toa or something. Oh,
so you're running Turles as a floater. I mean, if Turles
is on main rotation. No, yeah, Turles is a floater, yep.
Because if you're not going to get Turles to 24 key, because the thing is, Turles is the hardest hitting unit on that team. But like, if you're not going to get him the 24 key, he's not going to look like it, right? Because that's what changes the game for him, is when he gets super effective against all types. I found that because like, I don't know, like there's Space Shot Wars is just so good, right? Like, I definitely agree the best way to build these teams is Cooler and BoJack leader style. Absolutely, 100%. Because they're just, you do whatever you want to, and it feels way more fun. 100%. Because, like, the other thing, too, is with that team, right? Like, you just go full Extreme STR. You could put Hit on there, right? Who is creating red orbs for the entire team, giving the entire team key attack defense. He stacks and he stuns, so he's capable himself. Like, yeah, like, I'll definitely give you a Space Shot Warriors. I think that team is a dream.
Hey, Truth, how many links do you have maxed out?
Well, that was random.
What?
There's a point to this. How many links do you have maxed out? How many units?
Like 119 or something like that.
Goresh, how many do you have maxed out?
How many units?
Yeah.
Like 90.
90? Okay, Truth wins the argument.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
I don't know that really is relevant, but sure.
Okay.
I don't. What? You're trying to be mean now, Toon. Enough. All right. Continue.
That's not mean. That's just stupid. That's what I do. Have you met me? All right. So let's switch gears a little bit. Not fully though, because we're still talking about the JP anniversary. Predictions for Part 3. You guys have any ideas for what we can expect on the next iteration of unit rollouts or LRs or whatever? Any thoughts?
Well, one thing to add in is that we got the teaser for the new stages for the God event last night. If there was going to be Infinite Dragon Ball history or anything like that, we would have gotten a teaser for that as well. The what?
Royal Blue.
Yeah, if it's gonna happen, that's where we would expect to see the AGL Blue, like Super Saiyan Blue Evolution EZA.
Man, you really don't want to see it.
I don't think that's gonna only because like. Okay, so we'd be saying they're going to EZA LR Roshi and Tien, Krillin and 18, Physical UI Goku, LR Goku and Frieza, and AGL Blue Vegeta. That's a bit, maybe a bit excessive.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think Vegeta is the place you draw the line at. I mean, it's already pretty absurd, right? Yeah. So why not go crazy with it? I mean, what? Why not? It's been 6 years, right?
I guess it's like Goku is always going to be the main feature, so they could just do him by himself. But obviously, with the main anniversary units being a new UI Goku and a new Blue Evolution Vegeta, when the UI Goku one was announced, I would have been pretty confident in saying that Blue Evolution Vegeta would get his, and then obviously they turned around and it's easy, Goku and Frieza instead. So.
It would have benefited everything way more had that Vegeta gotten an EZA too, rather than the Goku.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Is there another LR that you guys have been clamoring for that you think would be a perfect way to kind of wrap up the bonds of Universe 7? Or do you think we have enough LRs for Universe 7 as it is?
No, there's some more like new units or anything coming.
Yeah, I think we covered.
No, but if there were to be one.
Oh, dude, what? Toon, they remember any moment could be like an LR basically. Like they could do any combo of characters. Like they could just make Gohan and Piccolo an LR, just redo that unit. Like I think for now they're probably done with Reps Universe 7 for a little bit. But like we said that with Buu Saga, and then they did drop the Prime Battle Babidi and Buu, right? Like there's always room for more stuff.
But, Battlefield, Babidi,
yeah. No, Babidi and Buu is Prime Battle.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, I was thinking Babidi. Yeah.
Yes,
You're right. Yeah.
It's just kind of weird too, right? Like that was a unit. That unit is good, the Babidi and Fat Buu, but like it's we didn't need it. They could have done a bajillion other Prime Battle LRs that would have been way more needed on category teams. By the way, one thing I'll add about that Universe 7 Team 7 LR. That's a very good idea for them to buff these small shitty categories. Just create like that exact type of unit, but for something like rapid growth and stuff like that. That's what you do.
All right, so before we move on to global news, because I know everyone is waiting for that hype global news, let's also talk about one more thing that JP had that I'm actually pretty jealous about as a global player, which is the account data or the Dokkan stats. So, Truth, I don't know if you want to elaborate on this, or Talon or any of the JP players. What exactly are the Dokkan stats, and when are we able to gain access to this as global players?
It's basically just all of your stats up until so for JP up until the 28th of January of 2021. It shows your just kind of overall stats in the game. So for example, your top 3 most used units ever since you started the game, how much Zenny you've spent, yada yada, all that kind of trivial knowledge essentially. So I know most people want to see exactly what their top 3 units are. I will tell you right now, though, if you're someone who's been playing the game for quite a long time, get ready to be surprised that some old unit that you probably don't use today, but you
Talon,
probably
who
just
is your
use
top 3? I don't remember
My top 3 was STR Gogeta, so the one, the original OG one.
Okay.
Second one is AGL Vegito, and the third one is Int Metal Cooler, which I do admit I use Int Metal Cooler a lot for support. But
dude,
you do not do the World Tournament at all, do you?
Yeah, no, Toon, I'm not like you.
Yeah, because if you're a World Tournament grinder, expect those to be your top. Because mine was AGL Turles, STR Broly, and then the Int SSR Chaozu.
Not at all surprising there.
Yeah, those ones,
Him being on there is great.
Yeah. By the way, so for global, if the time frames stay the same, that means the global one is probably going to go up until like July 5th or July 6th or sometime in that range of all the stats.
A few days before it starts, basically. Yeah.
Do you think it will still be tied into the anniversary? Because obviously sometimes when they just do quality of life updates, they come out a little bit earlier.
No.
This isn't really a quality of life update, though. It's more just hey, you've been a player. Check out your stats.
Yeah, so
feature,
it's a special like one-time thing. It's not constantly updating or anything like that. It's just like a one-time link. Yeah. So it'll be there for the
What are those
anniversary.
other metrics that they're checking here? I see ACT, so obviously stamina used.
Okay, so it's Cybermen killed, stamina used, sensu beans used, characters obtained, gotcha. What is it, Crash? Gotcha is done or whatever the hell it is.
Which one are we looking at? Gotcha is like. It's like gotcha's turned, or like, because usually when a gotcha machine is something you turn, that's the term they use. It's kaiten. It's like turned or rotated. So I think it means just times pulled is what it is.
Oh, okay.
Was there more truth, or was that it for the?
Yeah. Okay. So again, it's. I mean, if Gresh is looking at the screen,
Cyberman killed stamina.
Cyberman killed, times trained, Zenny obtained, times used Senzu Bean. Put a lot of stats in here.
Is there a particular stat that Goresh, you haven't obviously had this yet since you're not JP. Is there a particular stat that you are eager to learn as far as like how far you've gone and whatever metric that you're curious about? Like how many times?
Cybermen killed. I want to know how much I've killed.
That is relevant because that's link leveling.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's link leveling. That's relevant.
Yeah. So how many would you think you would have killed at this point?
I don't know. I have like
1 billion
metric to be able to estimate that.
So my number 2, and if you're curious, was 100,000. I'd killed 100,000.
100,000?
Oh my god. Okay, so expect to be somewhere around there as well.
The cyber jobbers. Oh my god.
Let's also go through what do you think your top 3 most used units are going to be? Obviously, Truth already mentioned his.
Yeah.
And Talented as well. But global players, if you guys got this right now, what do you think your top 3 used units would be?
It's unfortunate that it does obviously factor in people who've grinded the World Tournament because you and I do that like fairly regularly. So
well, I mean, if you want to be adventurous, feel free to answer outside of the World Tournament units.
I feel like that would be skewed.
Yeah, dude, I really wish they would have given us like the top 15. Like that would have been way better because we actually would have seen characters outside of World Tournament, right? Because I'm sure like if it kept going, like my number 4 would have probably been Tech SSR Jacko and like Dragon Ball Super Physical Broly, right? Like LR Cell. It just would have been more World Tournament units. So
basically.
I think Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for years I used him 60 times a day. He has to be in my top 10.
Okay, so then Ningen, reformatting the question. Outside of the World Tournament units, what would you say your top 3 most used units are? And then we'll go through everybody.
Man, I feel like Mars Saiyan and Super 17 will probably be on there somewhere.
Of course.
Exactly. Just for the sheer amount of trying to force,
way.
Trying to force it to
I'll
be.
be shocked if 17 was not in there.
All right. Right now, if Super 17's not on your list, you're fake. You're fake. You're out. You're done.
Fake fan.
But yeah, I think like physical Vegito Blue would be high up there because obviously when he first came out, him and the AGL Rose, when they first came out, that was all I did for weeks on end was use the Extreme and like Super teams back with the old builds with like STR Gogeta, AGL Vegito, Super Vegito. Yeah, they would definitely be on there. And then STR Rose, when he came out, I feel like he was one of the best TURs in the game. So I was using him like non-stop for quite a long time. So there's definitely a few, but yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate that I think mine will be very skewed by the World Tournament stuff.
Goresh, what about you? Outside of the World Tournament units, who would your top 3 be?
It's probably like Int Metal Cooler. I think I used a lot. Transforming Frieza, I'd used a lot, the tech one. And another one, I guess, maybe AGL Turles, just because he's part of the World Tournament, but he's also like a really good unit to use outside of the World Tournament as well.
Yeah, for a long time he was that unit that you just put on like pretty much
yeah.
every single team that he fit on when he came out. So I could see him being on mine as well. Because for the longest time he was on the World Tournament team that I used. So
Kensei, what about you?
I think my 3 ones out of the World Tournament is going to be probably STR Gogeta, because I did remember having my account like first year, and I've been using him since like forever until AGL Super Vegito came out. So I think that's going to be my second one. And I think my third one, I think it has to be either AGL Turles as well. Because I use him off tournament and also in tournament as well. So he might be my third one.
I'm trying to think, because early on when I started playing the game, all I did was just do quest mode, and I went from like rank 1 to like 600 in like a couple weeks, because all I played was quest mode. Because I think it was during the 250 million when the rank times 3 or times 4 was going on, so I was just skyrocketing through the ranks. So I just used basically the units that I pulled. So I could definitely say it would be Tech Vegito Blue for me, Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and the Goku Frieza, because that's the first unit I ever rainbowed. So
yeah,
probably
yours will
would be
be
those.
a little easier to figure out, right? Because yours is a little bit of a newer account. Although, I mean, to be fair, I mean, my account is only like 1 year older than yours, though. It's not like dozens of years or something like that, right?
Yeah. But I mean, this is of course considering outside of World Tournament, because I know for a fact, like when I see my top 3, either Jocko or Chaozu will be in there, Broly will be in there.
Same here.
Raditz will probably be in there. I use Raditz an awful lot, surprisingly. So.
Talon, you STR Gogeta was your number 1. When did you start your account? You were prior to the first year anniversary.
I was prior to the first year anniversary. I want to say like November before the first year anniversary started. And so yeah, I've been playing a long time.
And then Goresh, you said your account was from the 1 year anniversary, right? You re-rolled for Gogeta or something like that?
I didn't re-roll for him. I just started playing then. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that said, let's move on to the global side of things. Woo! Let's talk about the LR Turles, the best LR in Dokkan.
He's up there
LR
for real, though. I mean, you say that, but he's
totally.
for real.
I mean, he's up there for sure.
Oh yeah.
So
I get the feeling you got shafted there, Toon.
Actually, I didn't. I pulled the first multi.
Did not.
I pulled the first multi. Turles never leaves me alone. But I did do a few summons afterwards. But anyway, global players, rejoice. We got Turles. You guys you're welcome. What are your thoughts on the unit now that we've had him on global? Super Battle Road implications, LGE, endgame content. How's the unit for you guys? And is it worth getting the TUR, Goresh?
Not if you're 99.9% of the player base.
But overall, he's extremely, extremely good, right?
The TUR, yeah, he is. I mean, again, I don't think he's like an optimal unit to use on any team. He's just a really fun unit to use alongside the LR because he provides him with like 6 out of 7 links. So
yeah,
he's mainly a battery to just make the LR look ridiculous.
I mean, what we need is, AGL Turles to EZA. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Definitely.
And again, like, none of this shit is out of the realm of possibility anymore, right? Because, like, Int UI Goku got his EZA. He's the direct Dokkan Fest before Turles, too, so.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, with this whole EZA schedule now completely being blown up, there's just no discernible way to figure out what's going to be coming up next, except for maybe, like, if there's an anniversary theme that has something to do with movie bosses, then maybe you could assume that Bojack or Turles or someone relating to that could get some sort of an upgrade. Otherwise, it's all up in the air, right?
Much better this way, I think, by the way.
Oh, I completely agree. I completely agree. I love it this way. But as far as the unit goes, Mass Ningen, I know you have fallen on hard times when it comes to this unit and your endeavors to summon him. But on
Could say
paper, how do you like this guy? Sorry, dude. I hate to bring that up, but how do you like
the
this unit?
current count, by the way, is 1,000 stones on the banner.
Jesus, man.
So
No
unnecessary.
copies of him?
Ouch.
I mean, that's like
Yep,
average to pull one. So
Oh,
true.
yeah, I know, but I pulled quite a few LRs, but unfortunately,
Yeah,
a
but
lot
you're
of them
pulling on
were
that
ones I
crappy
didn't
LR
need.
Yeah, not
banner,
the
like,
trophy of the banner, pretty much.
Well, but yeah, so he is obviously ridiculous. I've done a couple of runs of different events using him as a friend and just running like the full Terrifying Conquerors team. And even as a friend, so he's giving the lower, like the 130 leader skill and then having Cooler as my leader. Like at 55%, he's getting like 5 million attack stat, like turn 1. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if you actually do have him, and obviously have him with dupes or whatever, like, yeah, it's insane. Obviously, we've seen the videos from JP, but it's always kind of different when you get to use them yourself in the game and actually see the different kind of numbers that he's hitting. And then obviously you mentioned Super Battle Road. I did a run today on ESBR where because his active skill is the turn restriction or the HP restriction, I had him starting off on the second rotation, and I just went through a cycle of every single fight on ESBR of taking a load of hits in turn 1 and then on turn 2 having the LR using the active skill and just annihilating everybody, because obviously with the 24 key he gets the chance to do the additional. I think the friend that I found for that run had dupes and skill orbs, so there was a couple of times where he did like the 3 super attacks turn, and I think the first fight was against the Bardock squad and he literally took out like 3 people by himself, and that's with him being one of the leads, so under like the lower leader skill team. So yeah, he is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, which we kind of knew, and that's why I'm so deep in the banner, because I wanted him so badly, but better luck next time, I guess.
With Turles being on the space-time or space-traveling warriors category, is he a must-summon if you're someone who's going to be focusing on getting the Bojack coming up eventually? Is he a must-have?
This
No, I
unit
don't
is
think so.
never...
No.
No legendary summon unit is ever a must-summon.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's the thing, the Bojack, like, because obviously he has Time Travelers as a secondary leader skill, so
Yeah.
if you pull him, like Goresh already mentioned, because he's one of those ideal leaders like Cooler, where you can run him off rotation if you want, and he just provides great support to the team. That team can be built in so many different ways that, yeah, even like one specific unit would probably never be like a must summon for his team, because his team has such a huge array of options for team building. So I think you're probably better off. I mean, most people potentially would skip Bojack because of what we know is coming, but
Right.
if you're free to play or don't spend a lot, you would probably be better off spending on Bojack than on the legendary summon banner. So
Back when we had the LR Jiren and we had the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Dokkan Fest drop, a lot of people were making comparisons between those two units, how they were basically identical in terms of their passive. Are you guys satisfied with this LR in terms of how he's built, the things that he provides in terms of a team dynamic and just an individual unit with his stats? Or do you feel like there could have been a little more creativity put into his skill set?
I mean, I think he's good. The only thing I would say, like, I can see his active skill. I don't want to say that it seems lackluster, because obviously it gives him 24 key, which just, it seems like a basic thing, but then obviously that's what unlocks like his full potential, like the last part of his passive. So I guess it is fine like that. But, and it is interesting obviously that is he still the only unit that can use his active skill twice? I believe so.
As of
which is
now,
kinda
I
interesting.
think yes.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
can't
his kit
think of
is,
another one.
and obviously he's kind of balanced in that sense that most people are never going to get the TUR, or at least get the TUR fully built up. So he's one of those units that if you really want to make him look crazy, you have to run him next to a unit like AGL Turles, which in the current meta, it's all well and good him like LR Turles putting out like an 8 million attack stat, but then the AGL Turles could get you killed in like a harder event. So
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
funny. His active
balances it out a
skill,
little bit.
his active skill looks like it's not really that impressive. But like you could have a unit that's like, oh yeah, 24 key, he kills the enemy instantly. And then you look at that active skill and still think it's bad because you don't actually like look at the actual other parts of his kit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what people do. People
Yeah,
like
that's-
look at his active skill and they're like, oh, it sucks, without even looking at what he like
Yeah.
what that actually unlocks for him.
Whereas, like, even though he's still good at that point, like, there's a distinct difference between LR Tellers with 23 key and then 24 key. So, yeah, the active skill is obviously very, very useful.
And, of course, on Global, this isn't the only STR LR that we are hyped about in these parts. We also have the Prime Battle Frieza getting the EZA treatment. And I gotta say, this unit is a beast. Are you guys satisfied with the upgrade that this free-to-play LR has received?
Gresh?
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
Yes, I am.
You kind of like Frieza, right?
I don't know how they could have even made him better.
Yeah, he is ridiculous. I think the highest I've gotten him to on the double STR cooler team is 7.5 million, I think.
I got 8 million.
Yeah, I would say you should be hitting like 8.
Yeah, 8 million around there, yeah.
Yeah, get those links up, man. Come on.
And Toon, did you know that if you have him in slot 1, he gets extra key?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just want to make sure you knew that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Do you foresee the subsequent Prime Battle EZAs getting a similar type of treatment, or do you think that one is enough, making this unit as broken as it is enough?
It just depends, probably.
I hope so for some of them, because I feel like the Vegeta is like Trunks always had that little bit of utility for like the easier Super Battle Road stages, but like Vegeta always felt kind of underwhelming to me. So if he got an EZA even remotely close to the level of the Frieza, that would be awesome for. Because I feel like after he first came out and like getting him and using him for like the initial test runs and stuff, I feel like I've never used him after that. So.
See, the problem with a lot of these other units, though, aside from, I think it's Tech Cell, a lot of these guys, like, they have to really increase the passive and everything to make them as good as someone like LR Frieza. Because the thing that LR Frieza benefits from, even though, because when you initially look at his passive, you look at it and you go, it doesn't look that impressive, right? Like, he just gets that small % boost and everything. But it's his links.
Yes.
You know, plus the teams that he's on, plus the linking partners he's got. Then you add in the fact that his passive skills actually is pretty good. Then an 18 key super attack and all that, throwing an additional potentially in there. That's where you're just like, oh shit, this guy is doing crazy stuff right now. So they're really going to have to, on these other units that don't have these links and really good linking partners, they're really going to have to up the passive on them. Otherwise, I don't see them being as good as Frieza. They'll still obviously be a lot better, obviously, but I don't think they'll surpass Frieza unless they really go the extra mile. So if Team Z here, who is apparently going to EZA summonable LR now, let's just let's get it going, guys.
Yeah, and then the other thing to mention also as well is that Frieza has a 21.6k attack stat, fully rainbow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas you take a look at some of these other Prime Battle LRs, I mean, the Trunks, who's next in line if you're going in order, has 19.3k attack. Vegeta has 19.6k. Tech Cell has 16.9. So some of these Prime Battle LRs, like, they're gonna have to definitely balance them with the passives, because Frieza's, his passive isn't the craziest, but when you're talking about Prime Battle Cell, who has like a sub 17k attack stat, he's gonna have to get like 200% attack in his passive to like match Frieza's output or something like that.
Yeah. Now he does luckily enough have things like big bad bosses, but at the same time, you are still correct where he's definitely gonna need something there in the passive to really, again, get him to more Frieza's level. So
I also hate that he's got a link Flea where you just like never ever use it.
Yeah.
And for units like these, like free-to-play units, having all those links more accessible would just make the unit have so much more value. And the fact that I can never use Flea just annoys me to no end. And it's funny, like these guys are so unique that I'm torn between wanting to get them EZA'd now versus waiting till the last possible point when their EZAs can be the most absurd, right? Because the longer you wait, the more likely it is that that upgrade is going to pay off and it's going to be even more broken than it would have been had it happened earlier, right? So I'm at this like middle ground where I can't really decide which one do I want to have as the next EZA. Do I want my Cell or do I want him to wait? I don't know.
I think it's just going to be chronological. So it'll be the Trunks and then the Vegeta and then the Cell, I think, is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how they end up doing that as well, because you needed the Prime Battle Goku to do the Frieza. So now, are you gonna need the Prime Battle Frieza to do the Trunks? Like maybe.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
So
maybe
maybe
both.
I mean, what if once you get to like the Cell, you're gonna need like all the previous ones to do that? It's gonna be a long.
That's gonna be a long grind. Yeah,
that'd be great.
I mean, I'd be
not
fine
for someone
with
who's
There's
new,
content right there, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's content. Yeah, exactly.
Because not only do you need the actual Prime Battle units EZA, but you also need all those other units that you need for those Prime Battle EZAs done as well. So
it's just a lot of resources, just put into these units. Just like nobody, I think new beginners won't have that, but the old players, they should have like the resources. Honestly, what I want for the next EZA out of the Prime Battles, I would want the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 in EZA, because they're going to be really disgusting for a support type unit. Because they give out super.
They're not a Prime Battle though.
But like outside of the Prime Battles, because I mean, the one I want from Prime Battles is the Android 17 and 18. But outside the Prime Battle, I want the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 to get their EZA. Hopefully next, because we did get the Hercule during the worldwide campaign. So I want that, and of course the Android 17 and 18 as the next one.
Saiyaman EZA would be probably the most OP whenever that happens. I would think.
Which one?
But the Saiyaman, the friend summon Saiyaman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The one free-to-play LR that I spent 19 Kais to upgrade. Anyway, that.
Ow. Oh.
Yeah, that was when I
on
first started
the
playing
first day.
Dokkan, so I don't really know that's gonna wrap up the first half of the show. But folks, don't go anywhere. We will be right back answering your questions. So stick around. We'll be right back.
All right, guys. So real quickly, as always, when we come back for these part twos, right before your questions, we, of course, want to give a shout out to all of the amazing support that you guys are giving us. So first off, obviously, shout out to everyone here for hitting that follow button and just simply being here for the podcast. It's always awesome. But we also want to give a special thanks to some of our subs and our donations and everything. So first off, to Guitar Heroist with the 3 months tier 1 sub. Thank you so much for the awesome support. And then Rango45 with the Prime sub as well. And then we literally just got this random sub from some mid-tier guy, Mid Ningen or something like that. I don't really know his name, but thank you so much for the Prime sub as well. So anyway, without further ado, Toon, go and take away with the questions.
Thank you, Talon. Folks, a couple of days before the show, we sent out a tweet letting you guys know that we're going to be doing the show so you guys can post your questions. And then we filter through, figure out which ones are the best, and we pick those and we answer them on the stream from the Twitter account, the Discord, YouTube community page. So we got a couple for you today. We're going to read them right now, starting with Cryosis38. Cryosis asks, do you think Goku and Frieza will get an EZA banner?
Yes, I think they have to.
They have to.
Maybe not a specific EZA banner, so to speak, but maybe it's just like a rerun of their Legendary Summon banner with like 10 featured units or whatever it is. Maybe 8 featured units. They've been doing that recently for some of those rerun LR banners. So maybe it's going to be 8 featured units and then just like a bunch of fodder 7
units.
other units that are on there.
I would think they would do something, but
yeah, they have to do something. They have to.
Something.
The Goku, since he was already just on one of the anniversary banners, they didn't do anything else for him, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, because you actually you can pull them unfeatured from the current Legendary Summon banner, but that's not
true.
a reliable way to get them. So
Exactly.
Oh, you mean you don't have 500 gold coins just sitting around, ready to get them from the bottle shop?
It's also something that if they make this unit crazy enough, like people are going to want to spend money and summon, so they'd be foolish not to have it up.
Yeah,
in some
that's true.
capacity.
All right, moving on to the next question, brought to us by Doki? Legend Dokkan, whatever. Doki asks, do you think with all the ways to obtain LRs now that Kai's should be easier to obtain? Wait, I don't think I read that right. Do you think with all the ways to obtain LRs now that Kai should be easier to obtain? I find myself always anxious to use Kai's, especially during these big celebrations, in case I pull another unit that I want to use.
It's hard to say because, like, I'm sure a lot of us are in that same boat because we've been playing the game for so long and like grind everything. I always have quite a lot of them. It's just you've got to make sure you're always doing like the events that give you them as the rewards and stuff. Like every time they refresh those story events that have like a farmable currency, that's like another 2 Kais that you can get. Although to be fair, I have noticed that with the link level update, I have been doing those like less recently because I've just been using stamina on grinding links instead. But yeah, the events are there for you to get more than you might think. Plus also, you know, as much as it does kind of suck to spend a lot of time grinding stuff like that, a lot more units are coming out now that are farmable, even if it is a slightly more tedious like route because some of them need to be slightly awakened or whatever. But that's the key thing, I think. Early on you have to kind of learn which units like you can farm and like so as to not waste Kais on units that you don't necessarily have to. I think it's something that you should always keep in mind.
Yeah, I think the combination of, I mean, even with summoning, right? If you summon on a banner for a new unit that you really want, 9 times out of 10, a lot of those units either have an SR version of them that can be used to be thrown into their super attack. Missions, every single celebration, give a decent amount of sleeping Kais, so don't just throw the sleeping Kais onto some random person that you know you can farm up. You know, put it onto a unit that you absolutely know cannot. So there's a lot of little things that you can do to save your Kais for whatever you need to actually use them for. Because I mean, as someone who I don't think I've ever touched that Kai banner since, I want to say year 4, maybe year 3, maybe. And I still have like, I don't know, I've got like 30 plus Kais just sitting around if I need them. So, you know,
I'm just gonna ask something because like this is not me trying to be spiteful. It's just me. I've been playing the game for over 5 years at this point, and maybe I'm not super in tune with most of the player base, but do people generally have a hard time keeping up with super attack leveling? Like, is that something that people are like running low on Kai, stuff like that? I don't really know if that's an issue people are having.
I think people just don't actually grind stuff. It's like they complain day in, day out about no content, but they don't actually do the content, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, from my personal experience, honestly, early on, it was a struggle because I was playing the game very ambitiously, but I wasn't able to keep up with the massive surge of new units. So I found myself actually having to go in on those Kai banners initially. Now I'm at a good, steady balance where I farm everything out and I'm on top of all the units. But early on, for a new player, I feel like, it would be pretty important.
Yeah,
if you are dedicated enough.
I mean, there definitely is a reason why they decided to start doing these Kai banners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people have to be summoning on them, or else they just wouldn't keep putting them out. So
exactly.
But yeah, I suppose at least the good thing is, as a newer player, like the level of free-to-play units has gone up so much now.
Yeah.
So you're very quickly able to build teams that will help you get through events to then farm stuff that you need to then start actually building up your summonable units.
Yeah.
Well, and then there are other things like, I mean, for example, like right now during the 6-year anniversary with those free gold coins that we get every login and everything with missions, grab the type Kais, the Grand Kai, grab those. Every single time you complete an EZA, if you have an extra copy of the unit that's EZAing, or you don't have the unit to EZA, that's some extra Grand Kais right there for you. So, again, as a newer player, I can definitely see where it's not as, it's definitely harder. I mean, we were all there at one point, but I think if you continue to play and you just use your resources in a smart way, then you'll be good to go.
All right, let's move on to a question from the Discord brought to us by What's Poppin' Jimbo? What's Poppin' Jimbo asks, do you think we will see another Fierce Battle Saga type Extreme Z battle where multiple characters EZA, and what characters do you think they would EZA?
God, I really hope they do. I really liked that when they did those 6 units that got an EZA.
I mean, there's this theme.
How about
like this theme? Maybe.
We've talked about this before. They need to awaken first.
How about I was going to say, let them TUR and then do that.
How about the Ginyu Force, okay?
Ooh, the Ginyu Force, yes. I mean, they're going to be getting their extreme SBR stage, so potentially they can just, have them get an EZA in the future.
Because weren't all of those units that got them at the same time, they were all tied together with was it like the medals they awakened with to their
Yes.
war? So is there another? I don't know if there is another group of units that are specifically
the Team Bardock maybe
like that. Is there?
Yeah, they need the Ginyu Force needs the EZA treatment, and then they also need like a full free skill orb thing to grind.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't gotten one yet. I mean, Team Bardock got one before. Or no, sorry, Team Bardock got that random ticket thing. Like you do the Grand Priest stage or whatever, and It's still, I mean, even then
that would be a good celebration. You do an Dokkan Fest Captain Ginyu, and then you just do that. You easy all the Ginyu Force and give them a free stage of farm skill orbs. That's it.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
How about a bunch of World Tournament units? Just throwing a bunch of...
eventually.
Nobody cares about the World Tournament except you, so I'm gonna say no to that.
Yeah, but we're talking about the units though, because
I'm talking about the units like the high school Gohan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the one that you love so much. Yeah, that
so
one.
some of the
High School
older
Gohan's
ones.
awesome.
I didn't mean like those dumb like standard free to play ones. I meant like the ones that you get from the banner.
Yeah. Because like eventually, you'd assume eventually they'll start getting easy A's. Yeah, some of the early ones are super old now.
Tech Super Saiyan Goku.
I think.
You don't deserve high school Gohan.
LR Piccolo.
Well, LR Piccolo, easy A. Come on.
All right, our final question brought to us again from the Discord from Link on to Spirit Tracks 09. Link asks, "What is your favorite animation Dokkan has done? For me, Kid Goku's active skill."
Spirit Tracks, huh? I don't know if I can answer it because of that name.
Favorite
I mean, that's definitely one of my favorite animations. I think it's either going to be that or maybe the cooler transformation or Cell's active skill.
I have to go with LR Cell's active skill. That's always been a favorite of mine. That's I definitely agree with that. Cooler transformation is a close second though. Yeah,
it's definitely very fluid. The motion is very fluid, which is what's great about it.
Cooler's super attack as well, even now to me. Still like one of my favorites.
Plant
with
that
the 3D,
tree.
Like there's just the whole the thing where it like rotates around him. Like that whole bit still looks so good. And then obviously slightly biased, but one of the ones I'll never get sick of watching is AGL Bardock's transformation. I love that.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, that one's pretty neat. Man, I'm surprised nobody said STRUI, the LR. I think that's my favorite in the entire game.
Actually,
super attack
I agree with you, man.
Yeah,
someone in chat brought this up. I can't believe I forgot this, but Demon King Piccolo's transformation also is really good.
That's a pretty for a free to play World Tournament unit. That's that's pretty good.
Also, his attack, I think post transformation has that old timey explosion effect, right?
Yeah, it does.
No, that you're thinking of the STR one.
No. I'm talking about the tech one.
He is right. Yeah, he is right. No, the tech one.
Yeah.
The 18 super attack. He kind of throws the that energy ball in his arms to the side and then just
And then the color change, it gives it the old timey like straight out of Dragon Ball effect. It's really neat.
Yeah. The STR one has like the mushroom cloud explosion too, though.
Yeah, that one has that too, but that wasn't the one I was thinking of. But yeah, that's a good one too. Anybody else?
I mean, obviously, like I think Vegito and Bootanks are pretty high.
STR Vegito, definitely
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, especially STR Gogeta's active skill, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and the counter animation too as well that they use from Kakarot.
Yes,
that was really good.
Vegito's counter animation is awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty good one.
One of the ones as well that always kind of stands out. It's not the whole thing, but in Super Saiyan 2 Goku, when he transforms into Super Saiyan 3, his super attack where it does that like zoom in on the Kamehameha, like literally it just looks like something out of Fighters. It looks so good.
It does. Yeah.
I mean, I think it just goes to show you there's so many good super attacks these days that it all just comes down to personal preference, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a year ago we all could have said like, oh, it's this unit clearly. But
you think it was funny using them again recently. I thought of it, but like you think when we first saw the transformations for the year 3 LRs, and then like people were hyped for like the quality to have gotten to that level. Yeah. And now you look at like the ones that we have now from this anniversary.
Yeah, the Goku.
Insane how good some of them are now.
the NUI Goku's ATK Super is really good. I like it when it's like where he like slides to the side, and then like his glowing eyes just like follows him, and then does a punch. Oh my god, I love that so much right now. I think that's like my favorite animation right now.
You know what's also aged pretty well? The Goku Frieza, LR Goku Frieza.
Goku Frieza.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years, and it's still a pretty crisp animation to watch.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Super is, yeah.
All right. Well, if that's it, then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show, folks. That is going to be the end of this week's episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Huge shout out to Hydros for manning the boards, keeping the stream afloat, and pulling an LR on a single. My God. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, all of our various social media platforms, and lock in to the 59G network today. And if you miss any part of the show, fear not. All of your favorite podcasting platforms have you covered. Google, Apple, Spotify, and many more. Subscribe and do not skip a beat. Join us right here tomorrow for our very next episode of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast for the Masked Ningen, Talon, Goresh, Kensei, and Truth. I am Toon Rami. Thank you once again for watching. Stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.
Johnny.
Dokkan.